and Jamie are testing the myth that you can literally dodge a bullet, provided the shooter is far enough away. And to find out, they've got an expert sniper who's hitting the target first time every time. And a clever foil-based timing system that isn't.
It didn't work. It didn't stop it.
It's not working.
It has to work.
But despite the foil's initial failings, Adam and Jamie tweak, tinker, and persevere until the mysterious gremlins in the system are ironed out.
200 yards, time of flight. Fire at will.
Hey, we got a number.
What'd we get?
231 milliseconds.
Let's move back.
All right.
With that first data point finally in the bag, the team reset for the second shot.
The next distance we'll be firing from is 500 yards, 1,500 feet, 10 Olympic swimming pools approximately, end-to-end, or the distance of your average restraining order.
And Deadeye Dave, once he's assumed the position, focuses
That's it.
and hits the bullseye again.
Beautiful. We got a reading. Love it. 597 milliseconds.
So it's onwards and backwards as the team sets up for the third and final shot.
Nice, I guess the box gets lighter the longer you walk.
This time from a massive distance of 1,200 yards.
The final distance we'll be shooting from is 1,200 yards, roughly an 8-minute walk, a kilometer to those of you in every other part of the world besides the United States. And when I look at the target from here, I think, what target?
But if anyone can make this shot, it's Sniper Dave.
Sniping is actually pretty complicated. Your modern sniper shows up with a spotter and a computer to get the job done. He's got to compensate for several different things. Gravity. If our shooter's 1,200 feet away to hit here, he's actually got to aim at a point directly above 30 feet in the air. Okay, time of flight, 1,200 yards. The wind. If the wind's blowing this way, then our shooter's going to have to aim to this side of the target to compensate.
Figure 6/10 left.
Now he's going to be looking at things like flags, if they're there, or even the grass or mirages to get a clue as to what's going on.
I'm picking up some surface mirage running right to left about halfway down the range.
Drag. Now this is about air density. Now, our shooter's going to be looking at barometer, at altitude, at temperature to determine how dense the air is and be able to compensate for it.
Okay, have I got a light boil? Hold center and send it.
Now, all these things are a lot for a sniper to keep in mind when he's taking a shot. It's quite a feat when you think about it.
Never in doubt, Dave threads the eye of the proverbial needle, and just as important,
Beautiful. We got a reading, 1.791 seconds to target.
Excellent.
All right. Let's draw a graph. Now that we've got our numbers, it's time to plot them on a graph. Let's start with the x-axis, 12 increments of 100 yards each. The y-axis, going up and down, that's time from 0 to 2 seconds in quarter-second increments. Then we draw a grid and plot out our bullet times. The first bullet from 200 yards took 231 milliseconds to reach its target. The second bullet from 500 yards took 597 milliseconds. The third bullet from 1,200 yards took 1,790 milliseconds to reach its target. We then draw a line between these 3 points and see, oh, it's perfectly straight. That means we can take any distance and plot the amount of time it would take the bullet to get there. Or, conversely, we could choose a time and figure out how far away you'd have to shoot for the bullet to take that length of time. Isn't graphing lovely?
the day started badly. But thanks to Dave and his spotter, they've got the numbers they need to kickstart this myth.
Well, we got our figures. We now know how long it'll take the bullet to reach its target from any distance we choose.
Well, now we need to know how quickly we can jump out of the way, huh?
Human reaction tests it is. Let's do it. I can't believe he can hit that target from here.
Hit the target? I can't even see it.
We got some good numbers from our sniper.
What's next?
I think the moment has come to time another element of this story.
Human reaction time?
Exactly. If you had to dodge a bullet, just how quickly could you get out of its way?
I think I'm going to go get a cup of coffee.
See, he's going to get a cup of coffee. It's going to make him really hyper, and he's going to get out of the way really fast.
So they've got the numbers for flight time, and in their attempt to deconstruct this myth without actually shooting at each other, it works. The next piece of data is how long it will take to react and move out of the way.
This test is all about measuring a human being's reaction time. This is our human being. His task to get himself out of the path of a bullet described by the X on his chest and the bullseye behind him. His signal to move that the shot has been fired will be given by this digital camera flash remotely triggered by me from back there. All of this will be captured by our lovely digital high-speed camera, which, when we review the footage of Jamie's dodging a bullet, will allow us to time exactly how many milliseconds it took him to do it. All right, are you ready, Jamie? Human reaction time speed test at some random point in the very near future. Nice.
Jamie's fast. His Hoosier reflexes are honed to an almost superhero speed.
Nice work there, cowboy. You want to man the remote flash while I try a couple?
Okay.
Adam, on the other hand, makes up for his slow reactions with his lack of grace. Now, to assess the results.
Here's mine. So I turned into one of the Three Stooges. And I don't know.
But the Heinemann legend continues to grow.
Oh, dude! Check his bad self out. He's a bullet-dodging Hoosier.
Despite Jamie practicing and honing his Matrix-style sway with an artful economy of motion, it turns out that both Jamie and Adam clocked very similar times. They're both clear of the target in around 500 milliseconds. But just for the record, and this is the figure they'll take forward, Jamie takes the gold with a personal best of 490 milliseconds.
With practice, I was able to get my reaction time down to about an eighth of a second, and I was able to clear the bullseye in less than half a second. Now, this is a best-case scenario, but that's actually what we want here, because we want to see what is possible in terms of how close a sniper could be, and you would still, in theory, be able to dodge his bullet.
And for that distance, it's back to Adam and his graph.
All right, editors, help me out here and put the original graph back on the screen. Time on the y-axis, distance on the x. Now, if I draw a line from 490 milliseconds out to our plot and check out the corresponding distance, it's 400 yards. That is the theoretical distance at which you could possibly dodge a bullet, but only if you could see the muzzle flash from that distance. That's what we're about to find out.
And that means a return to the range for a test where the eyes have it.
The question is, how far away can you see the rifle firing? Now note, you cannot rely on sound.
Adam and Jamie will stand downrange and look for the muzzle flash as Sniper Dave shoots at a nearby target.
A little motivation for a sniper.
But rest assured, for safety, Dave will be firing blanks.
This is the real thing, and this is a blank. But this isn't just any blank. This is a theatrical blank that we've selected specifically because what comes out of it looks exactly the same as what comes out of the real McCoy.
And first up, they're facing the firing squad from 100 yards.
I saw it.
I saw it. Okay, Dave, let's move back to 150.
Cool. Roger, moving.
At 100 yards, the flash is as clear as a bell. And that's also true of 150.
Saw it.
I saw it.
But 200 yards is a different story.
Okay, Dave, 200 yards, fire at will.
I didn't see that. Let's have him do that again.
Dave, let's have one more go.
Did you see it?
I'd say that's at the borderline.
Well, if you got the eagle eyes, let's push it another 25 yards.
And at 225 yards, even eagle-eyed Jamie fails to focus on the flash.
No, I don't have it.
200 yards is our threshold.
Yeah.
With our blank rounds matched to a sniper's round, our ability to see the rifle firing is 200 yards. If you look at that on our graph, yeah, it's not quite enough time for us to get out of the way.
Remember, based on the bullet travel time coupled with the human reaction time, 400 yards was the minimum distance needed to dodge. But at just half that distance, you can't even see the muzzle flash.
I don't have it.
Luckily, Adam has a plan.
Not all blanks are created equal, and on Mythbusters, we always like to find out what is the best possible case scenario. In Hollywood, for instance, a blank for that rifle includes a lot more fire coming out of the tip because that's more visual for the movies. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start from this distance with a full Hollywood flaming blank and see how far we can see that rifle firing with one of these.
In other words, for the time being at least, it's out with reality and in with Hollywood. And the difference is like night and day.
Okay, Dave, 225. Fire at will. Oh, I saw that.
I totally saw that. Let's go to 400.
Okay.
The Hollywood round is the gift that keeps on giving because it's visible at 400, 800,
I totally saw
I
that.
did. I saw it.
and even 1,200 yards.
I saw that.
Totally saw it. Wait. And I heard it. That's plenty of time to get out of the way.
Adam's right. Dodging the Hollywood round sounds like child's play, but the real-world round is altogether more challenging.
Now, on one hand, we've got our ideal number. Based on our human reaction time tests and our bullet flight time tests, we know the minimum theoretical distance you could dodge a bullet from is 400 yards.
Okay.
On the other hand, we've got our maximum distance you can actually see the sniper's rifle being fired, which is only 200 yards away.
So at our theoretical minimum, you never see the cue to jump out of the way.
Yeah, it's not looking good for the myth.
But we still got to try it.
Absolutely. I mean, who knows? At 200 yards, staring down the barrel of a sniper's rifle, perhaps your adrenaline kicks in and you become super fast. It's worth a shot.
But you do realize we can't actually shoot each other with real bullets.
Aha! I've got a plan for that. Check it out. Here is our sniper, and here is our target. The sniper fires a blank round, and when he pulls his trigger, he clicks a switch. That switch sets a timer timing for the precise length of time that bullet would fly through the air.
Yeah.
At the exact millisecond it's supposed to hit the target, the timer signals a paintball gun to fire a paintball at you. It's an ouch, but it's not deadly.
So from 200 yards, the flight time we're looking at is 231 milliseconds.
Exactly.
With death off the menu, the guys run away to the runway, where Jamie starts setting up with the gun. And 200 yards downrange, Adam gets to work on the target.
There it is. X marks the spot.
Then comes the complicated bit. Timers, wires,
Nice.
paintball guns,
Isn't that cool?
and remote triggers.
Beauty.
Now, since we can't use real bullets for this test, but we've gathered the information that tells us the exact bullet flight time for any distance we choose,
Perfect.
we are going to imitate the bullet's flight electronically. Here's how.
When this gun fires a blank, a wire I've mounted on the trigger is going to close the circuit.
Which starts this timer timing. It will count down for the precise length of time the bullet should be flying through the air, and at the instant it is supposed to hit its target, it will tell this paintball gun to fire a round directly into Jamie's chest. Now, will he be able to get out in time?
I think I might.
No, not yet. That's what we're about to find out.
But first, there's the obligatory costume change. Jamie into something that will clearly show the paintball, and Adam into something of his own choosing.
Where is that guy? Adam! Adam!
Here I am.
Are you done screwing around? Let's
Yeah.
get to work.
Okay. Jamie might be able to dodge a bullet, but can he dance like this?
In their respective outfits, the guys assume their positions 200 yards apart. And remember, 200 yards was the maximum distance from which the guys could see a genuine muzzle flash. The question is, does that leave the caffeine-fueled Heinemann enough time to dodge out of the way?
All right, Jamie. This one's from 200 yards. You ready?
Okay, fire will.
All right.
Jamie, poised to dodge, waits for Adam to fire the muzzle flash blank. That will in turn trigger the paintball gun the required 230 milliseconds later. But when that will be, only Adam knows.
Did I get ya?
Got me. Give me a second.
Although Jamie clearly saw the muzzle flash, he had barely moved before the time was up and the paintball was fired into his chest. Undeterred, Jamie tries a couple more times. But to no avail.
Damn. At 200 yards, I could see the flash. I reacted to it and started moving out of its way, but I just couldn't do it fast enough.
Given that their quickest human reaction result was 490 milliseconds, trying to dodge a 200-yard round in 230 milliseconds was always looking like a superhuman feat.
Look totally busted. But we've come too far to give up. We're going to switch to a Hollywood muzzle flash. I totally saw
I
that.
did. I saw it.
Push the gun back to 400 yards, which gives us 500 milliseconds to get out of the way and see if it's theoretically possible to dodge a bullet. The distance I'll be shooting at Jamie from, I love that sentence, is 400 yards. This is the minimum amount of time Jamie and his quick reflexes need to get out of the way in time. To give him the best chance, I'll be using a full flash Hollywood blank, which is far brighter than the actual sniper round.
I'm set and ready.
Okay, fire Will.
Copy that.
You got me.
It's not the start Jamie wanted, but he's not going to give up without a fight.
Okay, Adam, fire Will. Oh, you got me again.
A very long fight. With each shot, Jamie is making progress as he hones his technique.
That was close.
But he never quite hones it enough. So, can Adam do any better?
Do you want to try?
You bet I do.
Adam, poised like a panther, gives Jamie the signal and then gets shot in the chest. Again, and again, and again.
Well, that was interesting. At 400 yards, we've got 500 milliseconds to react and get out of the way, which ought to be enough time, but there's a difference between the shop test and the real-world test. In the shop, we had this super bright flash right in our face. In the real world, we've got a tiny dot 1,200 feet away. It's a lot harder to see. So now, we're going to move that dot to 500 yards, give Jamie even more time to react, and see if he can deliver the goods.
It really is now or never.
There we go.
With 500 yards and 600 milliseconds to react to the Hollywood blank, it's time to step up or get the hell out of Dodge.
It's time to call into play those cat-like Hoosier reflexes.
Fire Will. I dodged it.
At last, at 500 yards, the Heineman does his best matrix sway, and the paintball sails clean past. But given the status of the myth, he's not that impressed.
This test showed that I would have been able to dodge a bullet. But here's the thing. We were using Hollywood blanks, and if we were using real bullets, I wouldn't have been able to see a thing, and I would have been dead.
Jamie's right. You may be able to dodge an unrealistically bright Hollywood round, but in the real world, well, there's only one conclusion.
So what's the verdict?
The verdict is, it's busted. There is no way you can dodge a sniper's bullet. Everything about all their equipment, including their bullets, is designed for concealment. There's just no way you could see one fire from far enough away to give you a remote chance of dodging that thing. It's busted.
I agree. It's busted.
Let's go.
So you mind pointing that thing the other way?